How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I have told you many times about different things that are wrong with Barack Obama. And every time I do it, I hear these crazos calling me names. Well, the only thing they could do is call you names. Because they don't know what they're talking about, and that I do, and that everything I tell you is the facts and figures and true information about Barack Obama. And everything I've been saying all this time has proven to be true now. That's why his poll numbers are going down, and that's why people who are independent, who are not sworn to him, are beginning to realize that everything he's saying is either a fraud, chicanery, deception. There's something wrong with everything he's saying because his heart is in nothing. His convictions are about nothing. It's just about his own ideology, and everything else is a cover-up of one kind or another, and he doesn't care what he says to you because he has no conscience about it. He told you he was so concerned about the war in Afghanistan, that because that's where we have to make the fight, and that's where we have to win the fight. And it shows you he's not even involved in the fight. He doesn't even know what's going on in Afghanistan. After being so convinced and concerned about the war in Afghanistan and being preoccupied at when Bush was president, somehow when he's the president, it's not even the worth thinking about. He doesn't even notice that there's a war going on there. It's not his business. Somebody would think he's the president of another country and he never even heard of Afghanistan. His own general said on 60 Minutes last Sunday that he only spoke to him one time about it. One time. In 70 days, one time he spoke about Afghanistan. That's how much he's concerned about it. Do you notice he never mentions Afghanistan in any press conferences or anything he does? Do you notice that kids are dying there every week, and they're dying there in greater number every week? Every week the number is growing and growing about kids dying for a war that he doesn't understand, doesn't know about, doesn't think about, and has no business about. The president of the United States is watching kids getting killed every day. This man was so troubled about the war in Iraq under Bush because there was no weapons of mass destruction. That's the only thing he could claim. While we vanquished the dictator and created freedom in another country. Here we don't know what we're creating. There is no government that's responsible, which is totally corrupt, and everybody knows it's corrupt. There's nothing to be gained there. Nobody knows the purpose of the war there, and he doesn't know either. He never pronounced the purpose. He doesn't know the purpose. And he never even spoke to his own general about this war. Could you imagine if kids are getting killed every day and it doesn't interest you enough to stop to think of what you could do about it, to talk to the guy in charge of it? If he had a problem, if a doctor told him he has tuberculosis, do you think he wouldn't talk about it? You think he wouldn't get involved in the issue? You think he'd have one conversation while he's lingering with tuberculosis for a month or 2 or 6 and not even talk about it to the doctor? He wouldn't even care. For his own health, I guarantee you he would care. If he crashed in a car and they told him that he's in terrible shape, you don't think he'd ask the doctor how long he's got to live? You don't think he would talk to him? You think he would wait 3 months or 6 months to even find out about it? You think nothing would bother him if he was involved? But if other kids that he sent to this war are involved in death every single day, he has no time to even think about it. Why? Because he's busy. He has to do the Leno show, then he has another show. Every time you see him, he was like elected to be on television. You would think he ran for president just so that he could do TV shows. He has no time for the presidency and no time for death and destruction of human life. But he does have time to be on 6 television shows in an hour, 10 television shows the next day, another television show the day before, and that's all he calls for every single day. Am I on television now or on television later? When else am I on television? He spends his day trying to book television shows. He wanted to be an actor and a performer, and that's all he is. He's performing all the time, and the rest is a fraud, a lie, chicanery, deception, irresponsibility, and fakery. That's his whole life, and that's all he does. He's the most worthless president that ever happened. And anybody who tells me I'm lying about him is a filthy, disgusting bastard.